Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Shridya. I'm here to present a prospective observational study titled Anisometropia and Refractive Status in Children with Congenital Nasolacrimal Duct Obstruction. CNLDO affects 20% of the infants globally. Until recent, it has been considered as a benign condition for a long time until few studies started comparing the visual maturation with the CNLDO, and they found that there has been association between refractive errors as well as CNLDO. However, most of these studies which analyzed this association were retrospective studies with inconclusive results. We conducted a prospective observational study with the primary objectives to assess the refractive status and prevalence of anisometropia in children with unilateral and bilateral CNLDO, and with the secondary objectives to assess the association between age at presentation and refractive status, and to find the risk of amblyopia in the study population. Materials and methods. The study was conducted in the Department of Pediatric Ophthalmology at Aravind Eye Hospital, Tirunelveli, from November 2017 to May 2019. Children of age 2 months and above with both unilateral and bilateral CNLDO were included. Clinical examination, like with visual acuity by age-appropriate method, cycloplegic refraction, slit lamp examination, RHO plus and FTTT were done. The children less than 1 year were started on lacrimal sac massage, while those above 1 year of age were advised probing. The patients were followed up for a period of 6 months, and cycloplegic refraction was done at each visit. The final refractive error was taken as the refractive error obtained from the most recent visit. Anisometropia was defined as an interocular difference in spherical equivalent of more than or equal to 1 diopter between the two eyes. And the risk factors for amblyopia were assessed based on the APOST guidelines revised in 2013. Coming to the results and discussion, we recruited a total of 308 patients, among which 205 had unilateral CNLDO and 103 had bilateral CNLDO. The majority of the patients fell in the category of age group less than 2.5 years, that is 275 patients, while only 13 patients were included in age group more than 48 months. No gender predisposition was seen in our study. 53% of them underwent Krigler's massage, 6% underwent probing, and 41% massage followed by probing. When we assessed the type of refractive error, we found that in unilateral CNLDO, the most common refractive error in the affected eye was found to be hypermetropia, followed by astigmatism and emmetropia, while myopia was only 3.9%. When we assessed in bilateral CNLDO, the prevalence of hypermetropia, which is 39%, was similar to emmetropia, which was 35%. We assessed the mean of sphere, cylinder, and spherical equivalent and found that in unilateral CNLDO, a statistically significant difference in terms of sphere, cylinder, and spherical equivalent was found between the affected and non-affected eyes with a p-value less than 0.005, whereas no such statistical significance was seen in bilateral cases. Donahue et al. Proposed that an interocular difference of 1 diopter can be considered as clinically significant. So the same cutoff was taken in our study to assess the anisometropia, and we found that in unilateral cases, 11.2% was present in anisometropia, whereas only 1.9% was present here. And also the anisometropia was very high in 53.8% had anisometropia in children more than 48 months. When we assessed the amblyogenic risk factors, we found that in unilateral cases, eight children had amblyogenic risk factors, whereas it was only 4 in bilateral cases. And when we assessed the refractive risk factors, the most common refractive error associated was found to be astigmatism. So I'd like to conclude that CNLDO can adversely affect the visual development in children. Increasing age is associated with higher rates of anisometropia and amblyopia. When there is a delay in the initiation of treatment, more interventions are needed to relieve the obstruction. And also, amblyopia treatment is much more difficult in older age group. Hence, treatment should be initiated at the earliest in all patients with CNLDO, and cycloplegic refraction should be done at each visit to prevent visual morbidity. Ours was one among the few prospective studies done with a fairly large number of patients, and it included both unilateral and bilateral. However, we couldn't include age match controls, and in the older age groups, the number of patients were less when compared to the younger age group, and our follow period was limited to 6 months. Thank you.
Okay, it's a good presentation, but what can be, how do you correlate a refractive error with a congenital NLDO?
The exact hypothesis is yet to be proposed, but what they propose is that persistent epiphora and discharge when it is in CNLDO can cause blurring, and this blurring causes defocusing of the image in the retina. And and a clear, sharp image is needed for the physiological emmetropization of the child during development. And when this is not there, the physiological emmetropization is hampered, and that is causing a refractive error. That is one of the theories they propose. Also, they say that when these children, hypermetropia was the most common error associated with that. And when there is anatomical and structural abnormalities associated with the orbit, like a small eyeball, it is also associated with the canalicular obstruction, maybe failure of canalization. That is also an associated finding with the eyeball developmental anomaly. So exact hypothesis is yet to be proposed.
Okay, very good.